Hey guys, Dom here, back again with another Starfield video. Now, since my last upload regarding a major international gaming retailer, EB Games, and how they are immorally selling pre-orders for Starfield, Bethesda's next sci-fi IP, years before its likely release, and the response to that video has been overwhelming. It's truly amazing to see how many of you were talking about this topic, and how many of you shared this video around and got the word out on what this company were doing and how they've been mistreating customers with these sort of practices for years now. Now, if you missed said video, I will leave it linked down in the description below. But just to recap the events so far, EB Games, a major international retailer, roughly a week ago now, leaked 3 placeholders for Starfield and The Elder Scrolls 6 for all modern systems, i.e. the PS4, Xbox One and PC, in which, looking deeper into this, the company in question were not only leaking these items/placeholders, but were also selling the promise of a game that hadn't even been fully announced, at the full price of $99 for each game. So this to me was beyond a joke, and in that video I reached out to EB Games and received several lackluster responses as to how what they were doing in their eyes wasn't wrongful, which led me to reach out to my contacts over at Bethesda UK and Australia, in which Bethesda confirmed that they were not aware of these games being pre-orderable or that their product was willingly being sold. Now, as I said, since I put that video up, the response has been incredible, and the talks between myself and Bethesda are still ongoing. As I mentioned in my previous video, that Bethesda Australia were looking into the situation, and the outcry from you sharing the video, commenting on said video regarding the shameful acts of this company have not gone unnoticed. And how tons of you responded for the games, i.e. Starfield and The Elder Scrolls 6, to be taken down from all websites and to be removed from sale. To which some of you actually informed me that EB Games had more websites, including EB Games Canada, which also was advertising Starfield at full price. Now, the reason I recover all of these events is because as of last night, our voices were heard. And because of all of your voices retweeting the video, sharing the video, commenting on said video, getting the word out, Bethesda have taken action, and all pre-orders for Starfield and The Elder Scrolls 6 have been removed from all websites. Yes, that's right, we did it. Again, if you visit any and all EB Games websites and type in Starfield, there will be no results for said game. Whereas before, as you can see, these were the once results for Starfield on all websites, selling a AAA placeholder for $99 and a release date of 2021 or 2019. Now, I do find this quite funny because when I actually reached out to EB Games originally for a statement on why they thought it was appropriate to be selling Starfield or The Elder Scrolls 6 years before its inevitable release or even announcement, it was clear to me that they were clearly telling me lies, as they clearly thought I was just a customer with no links to Bethesda themselves, with them stating such things as, "This is a placeholder which we make available with the approval from local vendors." Now, what they mean by local vendors is that they have been given permission to sell a certain product, in this case Starfield or The Elder Scrolls 6, by Bethesda themselves, which we now know this absolutely wasn't the case. They also stated to me, "We work closely with all local vendors, including Bethesda, to make sure all items we have available for pre-order are up to date with all information we receive from them," which again was a giant lie, as now that I've informed Bethesda of these practices, days later the game and pre-orders have officially been deleted from the site, gone with no trace. So I just find it funny that they were actually pursuing the practices of taking people's cash for a game that is nowhere near release, and charging people for the hype associated with Starfield and with The Elder Scrolls 6. And while a few people did mention how these practices work or how they work over at EB Games, where they'll charge you $99 for a $60 title and then refund you the rest on release, but this is still immorally wrong for a company of that size, even to be advertising a product like The Elder Scrolls 6, a game that isn't even in full production right now. I mean, at this point, The Elder Scrolls 6 is more of an idea than a physical, tangible product right now. And they were clearly just trying to grab a quick buck on people's hype and expectations for a game we won't even see for the next 5 to 6 years. I mean, come on. But we clearly bit them in the ass. And you know what? This will probably affect the inner relationship between Bethesda and this retailer, and all subsequent retail owners of EB Games, such as GameStop, etc, going forward. Also, in my last upload, EB Games also stated that any changes that were to come of this pre-orderable image, because let's face it, that's what it was, that the customer would only receive a refund if the game were to be cancelled or released digitally, which we both know Bethesda aren't going to do either of those. But it did make me wonder what would happen to people's money or pre-orders now that the item in question has been officially removed from all sites. So with these recent events after my last upload and after speaking to EB Games, I wanted to check in with them and see if they had an explanation for their recent actions. To which I stated, "Hey Bell, I was just wondering how a few days after my inquiry regarding the moral pre-orders of Starfield and the Elder Scrolls 6, before Bethesda have announced a release date or an official announcement of said games, have now seemingly disappeared from all of your various websites. Was this a decision by Bethesda's Softworks/ZeniMax Media, as you stated to me this was a normal thing to do and that you work closely with, in quotes, local vendors, in this case Bethesda, to allow such pre-orders? Alongside this, what is the current situation regarding any customers who fell for this pre-order, and how do they proceed now that the games aren't on your site? I look forward to your response on this matter. Thank you, Dom." To which, guess what? I've been seen. Meaning that they are no longer willing to speak to me on the matter, as I have clearly disrupted whatever corporate practices they wanted to exploit. Now, I'd just like to close out this video by saying, if a company like Bethesda have officially given a release date and you are excited for a game or a collector's item or collector's edition, then by all means pre-order, or at least wait for reviewers or sources you trust to give you a clear idea of a game before you decide to buy into a title. But if you see some leaked information or placeholder before an official statement has been given, never give out your money, never give out your details, as practices like this are a huge scam. And I know a lot of you are smarter than this, but it's just worth saying. But look at what your voice has done. We changed this immorally wrong situation and removed it from existence. It just goes to show what this community can really do. Remember, our voices together are louder than we think. So thank you all. But what do you guys think? Are you happy our voices were heard? Let me know in the comments down below. Best ones get featured in the credits of these videos. And if you liked this video, hit that on that like and subscribe button. And as always, ha ha, Gary.